Welcome everybody. Today we're going to have a blast. Today is about aligning our vibration, which is my favorite thing to talk about. This is how we're creating. So it's really great to have you guys here today. So welcome here to module 4, which is all about your vibrational alignment. So getting into alignment with what it is that you say that you want in your life, what you're wanting to experience or what you would prefer. So we have been over a vibration, and this is the language of the universe. So as we break it down and we understand it more, now we know the tools that we're working with in order to create. So we will dive into all this loveliness now, getting into vibrational alignment. I love this quote from Abraham Hicks that says, "The amount of time it takes to get from where you are to where you want to be is only the amount of time it takes you to change the vibration within you. Instant manifestation could be yours if you could instantly change your vibration." So this is really the work that we have ahead of us, or in this moment. It is vibrational. And there's all kinds of methods and all kinds of tips and tricks that we're going to go over in order to do that. But ultimately, that's what it's all there to do, is to support our vibration in this now moment. So just like Abraham says here, we could instantly manifest and these things that we're desiring beyond even our wildest dreams. And the only reason that we aren't experiencing it is because of the things that we're holding on to that aren't in alignment in it, that don't resonate with it. So the better we get at this, the faster we manifest, and the easier manifestation becomes. So what we're talking about today is, again, I'm just going to do a quick review of the law of vibration and attraction. Then we're going to look at the vibration frequency of your goal and what I mean by that, and then how to magnetize yourself to that which you desire. So it's really important that what you learn today, it's really powerful, so please use it for good. That being said, to each their own, however you plan to use it, that is up to you. And then the more that you grow your ability, so the better you get at this, to create intentionally, you do, in a sense, become a more powerful manifester. So as you raise your level of consciousness, as you raise your vibration, things manifest maybe what seems to be faster, and your thoughts are, you can just sort of see things happen like this. So you want to become quite responsible then with what you're thinking and feeling. So it goes hand in hand, and the universe is loving and protects us, and that can be sometimes the reason why we aren't experiencing manifestation quickly, is because if we're holding on to a lot of negativity and limiting beliefs and self-doubt and all kinds of things, we don't want to magnetize that as well, or grow that as well. So we're in a space where we're given time to work through some of that so that it can be released, so we don't grow it as well as the power of it as we grow our ability to manifest. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's something that's always really good to do when you're setting intentions, when you're doing your affirmations, any of this kind of stuff, that you preface your manifesting powers with, "I am now creating the life of my dreams in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way, in its own perfect time, for the highest good of all." So this might be a little phrase that if you're someone who journals, you could write out your journal on what you're manifesting and have that phrase at the end or at the beginning. You might want to put it up on your wall or something like this. So, we're always having that good energy in and around our intentions and for why we're creating what we're creating. So just to look back a bit, this is what we've gone over, right? So we talked about vibration and energy, how it works. Then we went into clearing your mental pond, understanding that all of this stuff within ourselves, we can release it, come with love and acceptance and patience, gratitude, all these things into these different areas of our life. We become more accepting and non-judgmental, and letting go, accept what is. So this state of being, it takes a little bit of work, but at first, even having the intention that I want to elevate my level of consciousness to a place where I'm not placing judgment on lots of people, that I'm letting go, I'm accepting the situation so that I can then see the positive. You're going to see a continual transformation happen. I've encouraged you guys to get outside and be in nature, and then taking your attention away from the things that make you feel bad, that aren't necessarily what you prefer, so that you can put your attention on what you do prefer. I would encourage, and have encouraged many of you, to meditate every day, at least for 20 minutes. This is another very powerful way to clear your mental pond. We do releasing trapped emotions. We do that through practices within ourselves, or you might get help with that. And then we went over unveiling your true purpose. You've brought awareness to how clear or not clear you are on what you want. If you still feel like I'm I have no idea, like I'm still very lost, go back again once the replay is up, go through that module again. And if there's still a lack of clarity, or like I just don't know what I want, I don't know what direction to go, just pick something and start moving forward. It's like if a ship is at dock or whatever, and you don't choose a destination at all, you're never going to leave the shore. But if you at least choose a destination, you're going to leave the shore, you're going to get moving, and then you can change your mind as you go, or the wind can take you in a different direction. But even just making a choice on something will help you move forward, and then you'll start to be able to implement and put into practice what you're learning. If you're just standing still, it's really hard to put into practice a lot of these things. It's with the movement and motion that we are able to then be molded as we go, so to speak. Even right now, I'm sure all of you, to a certain extent, have like a goal of some kind. Some of you know, you got your I am statements, you got your goals, you know exactly what you're moving towards. Some people are unsure, but you might be like, well, I want this thing. Maybe even if your goal is vague, there's some kind of something there that you are ready to move towards. And today we're going to be beginning to understand, if you don't already, the vibration of your goal. The law of vibration is everything is energy, moves and it vibrates. Every thought vibrates, it radiates a signal, and every thought attracts a matching signal back. We call that process the law of attraction. And if we understand that everything is energy, that everything is vibrating, that includes thoughts, feelings, yes. It includes everything that appears physical to you. It includes sound, it includes light, color, shape, everything, all the things. So nothing is exempt from this law. I would encourage you just to like think on that. Go sit by a river or by some water and just think about it. Think about the connectedness of everything. It's not like individual pieces. Think more in spectrums, like the spectrum, like a rainbow, all the colors bleed together. If there's not these fixed dividing lines between anything. And it has the appearance of certain things based on the rate of vibration, the way that light reflects off of it, and the amount how collapsed it is into a particle, or how condensed or low vibration or high vibration the energy is. Then you will understand why certain things that we think, like an object, say like a crystal, it has a certain frequency or vibration, why that could be useful to you, why a certain color could be useful to you, why certain sounds could be useful to you, because it's, again, we're all operating with vibration, and what we vibrate is what we resonate with, and that's what we see as a reflection back to us. So therefore, whatever supports me in the vibration that I prefer, let me get myself into all of that, so that you can continually shift what you're tuning yourself to. And then again, attraction is a law, but it's a secondary law, and the primary law is a law of vibration. The law of vibration is one of the basic laws of the universe. It decrees that everything moves, nothing rests. We live in an ocean of motion. And again, law of attraction is like attracts like. And I want to also reiterate the law of resonance. That's what you're tuning to is then what you are experiencing as well. The map of consciousness is something that came into my life, I'm going to say 3-ish years ago. And it is a system and a structure that helped me really understand vibration. This is obviously a very simplified form of the spectrum of energy, but it's something for us to work with and helps us understand vibration and how we can relate ourselves to it, and how we can begin to understand where we fit into this picture, so that we can make shifts and changes if we so choose. The map of consciousness, this was mapped out by David Hawkins. He has a bunch of great books. I encourage reading those, like Letting Go, Power versus Force, Understanding the Map of Consciousness. First off, feeling is a word we invented to describe the conscious awareness of the vibration that we're in. So our feelings, our emotions, again, that's vibration, right? And that's a really great way for us with our mind, our human brain, to make the correlation between, okay, this feeling, this emotion is this level of vibration. It's not that one vibration is better than the other or anything like that. They're just different. And we have this spectrum. So we have on the bottom here, starting at shame. So shame is what we have kind of labeled as the lowest vibrational emotion. We have guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. And then there's kind of like a bold line. Then we move up into these other ones. So below this bold line, where pride and below, this is where you will experience it. Things are more by force. People working really, 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 really hard and not necessarily getting the results. This, and even in the lower vibrations, this we can see as inaction, someone who's just not even taking action at all. This is usually what we would see as suffering. This is not a good experience that we're having, and 85% or so of the population exists in pride and below. In these levels of consciousness, you're much more easily controlled by others. You're usually working for somebody else's dream. You're often using substances to distract yourself and numb the self. It's definitely it's a harder experience to be going through. And then we tip into courage, which is where you begin to take responsibility for your life, for what's happening. You start to set goals, maybe get into self-development, these sorts of things. And then we move on up into neutrality. This is where we begin to release judgment, and there's more acceptance, and into willingness, where you begin to be open to allowing energy to flow through you, that you're open being of service to others. And it's not necessarily just about getting stuff and doing stuff for me, but more of a through me kind of experience. And we go up to acceptance, reason, and then into love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. About 0.04% of the population exists in love and above. This is a logarithmic scale. So each number, so from 200 to 201, 201 is 10 times the power of 200. So you can see there is a massive exponential growth in power as you move up the scale. And as an example about this, someone vibrating up in around love area, or even in reason, somewhere in these vibrations, would essentially neutralize 750,000 people vibrating down in fear. So when I say, the greatest gift you can give to the world, and if you want to help people, the most powerful way is actually for you to be happy, for you to follow your bliss, your joy, for you to do your inner work and to be into vibrations of love and joy and peace and all these things. Because by your higher level of consciousness and higher vibration, you are pulling up the collective, and that is a most beautiful and wonderful thing. So I encourage you to be happy, to be loving, and to do the things that bring you joy, which we're going to dive into more today. I want you to think about, in general, for yourself, how do you feel? What are you vibrating? What are you attracting? You can look at this map and sort of think, where do I see myself on here? Where am I spending a lot of my time? And we can have moments, right? We can have moments in all different areas of this map. It doesn't mean if you have a moment of fear that you are always vibrating that, but you will likely have kind of like an average where you're spending more of your time. I will tell you right now, it's very, very likely that everybody that would be watching this video would be 200 or above, because typically, remember what you're vibrating and what you're resonating with is going to be what you experience. So someone who is in a lot of negativity, a lot of fear, this information wouldn't really come across their path, right? Because they're not tuned to it, and they won't, even if they kind of saw it for a little bit, would just disregard it, or it would just go over the head. So you likely are vibrating somewhere above 200 the majority of the time. How we understand where we're spending a lot of our time, our vibration, is by looking at our environment and seeing what is being reflected back to us. That's a telltale sign of where your vibration is. So we're going to go a little bit more into that and understanding your vibration, so that we become aware, so that we can begin to make some of the changes if we so choose. We are all essentially born into a certain level of consciousness, into a general frequency vibration, so to speak, and it'll be somewhere in and around where your parents are. And interestingly enough, most people don't move more than 5 points up the map in their lifetime. And it's quite something for an individual to have the experience where they would have a leap in their level of consciousness. Pretty much anybody that has come into my world and taken my courses, or it's been a client of mine, they've had a leap, not because of anything I've done, but because I just happen to be in this information. And so this information comes to people who are ready for a large leap in consciousness in their experience. And lucky me, I just get to watch and enjoy the unfolding of it. The very fact that you are seeing this now would be a telltale sign that either you're in process, or you've been going through quite a leap in your journey, or you're ready to go through a jump. So I've seen people, like I said, usually I don't work with people that are below 200. doesn't typically happen, but I've seen people go from like 225 up to, 310 over a course of 6 months to a year. Again, that's an average. We always are moving all around. We're not fixed beings by any means, but this is something to think about and take into consideration as you reflect on yourself. And then you have this guide that you can kind of utilize to see, oh, I'm seeing a lot of angry people in my experience and a lot of bitterness and frustration. If my outer world is a reflection of my inner world, then I can conclude from that there must be anger and bitterness and stuff going on within myself. And it can be, that in the shadow where you've suppressed it, you're like, that's yucky and I don't like it and it's bad. But that's something it's within all of it. If you can perceive it, it's within you, which is like, no. And that which we judge in others, what we don't, as bad as or terrible we don't like, is what we judge about ourselves that we don't like. So beginning to see that and see it with love, be like, oh, okay. And before, for me, I didn't get it. I had a coaching call with someone, and he was like, and I was going through an experience with this person that it was not what I would prefer. And he asked me, he's like, okay, what don't you like about this person? And I listed out these things, and he's like, okay, so those are the things you don't like about yourself or that possibly other people see in you as well. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was just that light that went on. And then I understood I needed to bring love to that in myself. So see that process happening in your own life as you begin to let go of those things that are making it difficult for you to vibrate in these levels that do feel better. So obviously it's a no-brainer. Love feels better than fear. We know that. And one of the reasons too for this structure and this spectrum is the lower levels they feel like suffering, right? We don't like them. We don't like how they feel. So that is the momentum that pushes us to do something to be free from that suffering. Remember, there's always that pull. There's always the pull from the creator to grow, to go to the next level. It's within all of us to have that desire for the better feeling, the things like freedom and joy and peace and love and all of that kind of stuff. Think about in yourself, okay, again, has to do with what we talk about, clearing the mental pond. What's within me that I can let go of? It begins to become a game. What can I let go of? But at the very least, make the assessment of understanding where you are vibrating, what's going on within you by looking at your environment, the kind of people that are showing up in your life, your experiences, and ultimately how you're reacting to those experiences and to those people. This is where I like to say this is where the magic happens. And I'm going to bring all this up. When we understand where we are, what we're vibrating, what's going on, we're making an observation. There's no judgment on this. It's not like, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm vibrating fear all the time. No. We're just aware that this is what's happening. Then we're like, that's why I'm having these experiences, or I'm vibrating. People keep showing up that treat me disrespectfully and are mean to me. And I feel sad because of that. Those people and experiences are showing up so that you can see what's going on within yourself that you need to bring love to and let go of. So thank you, person who's treating me like shit, so that I can see I'm technically thinking and treating myself like shit. And for me to be able to have awareness of that so that I can move on from it, so I can let it go, because that's been the thing that's like keeping you from going to the next level. You want to keep going up here. These things that are not in alignment with it have to be let go. So of course, if you're like, I want to go here, then the universe is like, here's all the stuff that needs to be let go of so that you can go to this higher level. So those experiences that aren't enjoyable because they're reflecting back to you that the lower vibrational stuff in you that needs to be let go of, it doesn't feel good. It's the gift in this growing process. And then you begin to see it that way. And then you'll be grateful for these people that have been difficult and the difficult experiences that you've had, because they are the conduits for your growth. So then we have that side of it, what we're letting go of. Now we think like, okay, so let's look at this from another angle. What is it that I want? So think about the goal that you have, the thing that you desire. What is that goal? Bring it to mind right now. Again, don't get all stressed up with this, like, I don't know what I want. Even just think like something simple, like I want to go on a vacation, I want to go on a trip to Mexico or something. Like, it doesn't have to be your master life plan, but just think about something that is a goal of yours, something you want. And this is, Neville Goddard talks about this, about living in the wish fulfilled. So what we do, and this is where we can use our imagination, is we go into the imagination and we begin to think about and experience that moment where the goal is manifest. So we tune into that image. I gave you guys a guided visualization. in the previous module that will help you do that, for you to tune into the moment of the wish fulfilled, of the goal achieved, and then begin to then that's going to bring up emotions for you, right? That's going to bring up certain feelings. Feelings are vibration. I feel like this is pretty much the only reason to have a goal. And I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with me, but this is my perspective. The only reason to set a goal is for you to understand the vibration of it, because it's going to show you what you're lacking. So if you have a goal, you want it because you want to feel what the goal is going to give you. We're all after a feeling. So if that goal for you is, say it's a certain income, certain amount of money, and we use our imagination to think about what it's like to have that amount of money. What are the feelings? And this is an emotion wheel, just to give you some like, you can look at it and be like, oh yeah, these are the certain emotions that I would feel. If you want the money because you want to feel successful, well then obviously right now probably you don't feel successful. Or if you want it to feel worthy, then likely you don't feel worthy now. You're thinking this goal, achieving this thing, is going to give me the feeling that I'm after. So this is showing us that, okay, this feeling isn't happening right now for you. And this is what we want to find out. This is the information. What you think your goal will give you is what you currently lack, or better put, what you currently have an incorrect perception of understanding about yourself. For example, a romantic partner. If you want a romantic relationship, it's not necessarily so much that you actually want the relationship. What you're actually wanting is love. So this means you're currently not understanding that you are loved, and you likely aren't loving yourself. You don't fully love and accept yourself. And also possibly you aren't loving others. There's a lack of love in your life. You believe there's a lack of love in your life. The truth is that there is no lack of love, but you have a perception that there is, therefore you feel like there is. So this is how we work backwards. This is why we set the goal to unpack these kinds of things. We'll use the money example again. You want money because you want to feel free or abundant, for example. This means you currently think you are limited, that you lack resources, that you aren't free. You are actually free, but you believe you aren't. So you have this incorrect perception of yourself. You might be, well, I'm not free. I'm stuck at my job. I have to pay the bills for my mortgage and my car. I have to buy food and all this kind of stuff. You are the one that has chosen to work at that job, to have the house, to eat that food, to buy that car. That was you choosing that. You are fully able to sell the house and sell the car and quit the job and go live off grid somewhere in a tent in the bush. You are completely free. Actually, food is free. You can grow food yourself. Like, water is free. You can make a well on the ground. It just takes a little bit of labor. Like, it's just a perception that you have. It's a belief system. It's not true. So as we begin to break these things down and see where you actually are believing things that aren't true, that you think that they're very true, but they're not, or that you have these incorrect perceptions, then you can let them go. Then you can shift your vibration. And this is the process that we go through in order to begin to tune ourselves. And I want to reiterate all these things that you are saying the goal is going to give me. So think about it for you, what that is. What is it that goal, what does it feel like to have that goal? What is the emotions that go with it? That all exists within you right now. You're like, I want the goal because I want to feel abundant. That feeling exists in you right now. That state is in you right now. You are abundant. You just don't think you are. You have an incorrect perception of yourself. You want to feel the love because you feel like there's a lack of love in your life. You are 100% in love right now. You just have an incorrect perception. That's why you feel bad. Because your emotions are telling you this is an incorrect perception of yourself. Every negative emotion that comes up is showing you have an incorrect perception of yourself. And so then once you understand that that's what's going on, then you can shift your perception to what's true. And interestingly enough, then all the things, the physical world will reflect that back to you. The process is being done in the correct order. If we look at the goal as being like, once I have the money, then I will feel abundant. That's like going to the fireplace and saying, give me fire and then I'll give you wood. It's backwards. So the shift in the vibration happens from us. You don't go to the mirror and you see that you're frowning and you're mad, you're telling them, like, thinking to the mirror, like, smile, like you should be smiling so that I can smile. All the mirror is doing is reflecting to you. All the universe is doing is reflecting you. So it starts here and everything already exists within you. You just have to choose it and be it. Look at it this way. You have a goal I really encourage you to take out the time to flesh out the feelings of the goal. It's usually going to be a higher vibration. We don't choose goals to feel worse than what we currently do. So it's going to be something of a higher level of vibration that you might be currently experiencing. And then where are you vibrating? Do that assessment. Goal to me feels like love. It feels like joy. It feels like peace. It feels like ease. It feels like flow. It feels like success. It feels like gratitude. And that's the goal. And you're in that moment like, oh man, it feels so amazing. But here we are, or you are, some of you are, and you're feeling everybody's out to get me. The world's falling apart. I'm afraid of what people think about me. I'm trying to just get and keep everything to myself, judging me like, oh, this is bad and this person's doing all this stuff. You're in these lower vibrational energies. Those are completely different frequencies, completely different worlds. So what has to happen is you have to raise yourself into the frequency of what it is that you desire. And we do this a couple of ways, which we've talked about. I look at it from kind of two different directions. The one where we are intentional and we are putting effort into raising our vibration, like choosing where we put our attention, positive affirmations, practices like gratitude and visualization and vision boards, etc. This is us working at it, right? This is us like, you could use the word forcing it, but like exerting effort in order to raise our vibration. And then the other angle of raising our vibration is letting go. This is the shadow work that we talked about. If you imagine yourself as spirit, as soul, as a cork, and this spectrum here from shame up to enlightenment is a glass of water, naturally the cork on its own just floats at the top, right? It's its natural state. But from all of the incorrect perceptions that we have that come from programming and traumas and childhood and religion and all the stuff, culture, its weights are tied to the cork that pull it down. So actually letting go of those weights, the cork naturally raises up. This is why this is such important stuff to do and not something to skip over. Now, if you think about it this way, what you're going to find, the method number one of being intentional and visualizing and doing affirmations and everything, it isn't sustainable for long periods of time of keeping that vibration up. Because I get this question, like, how am I supposed to keep my vibration up all the time? What you will experience with all of these methods is a period of time or a moment of bliss or joy or freedom or whatever, but then you'll feel you go back down, right? To feeling lousy or lack or fear or whatever. But then you can bring yourself up and have the experience and you go back down. You can look at this as like the RPM of a car. What is happening when you raise your vibrational state to these higher frequencies, it's like revving that RPM up really high on the car. And say you're driving a Honda. Okay. And then what you do is you overtax the system. You overtax your nervous system by raising your vibration to this higher point. Because you're driving a Honda, it's not able to sustain that high vibration for a long period of time. So the car, you max out, you overheat or whatever, and then the vibration has to come back down in order to recover. So we have to upgrade the car. We have to upgrade this vehicle in order to sustain higher levels of vibration for longer periods of time. The way that we increase our capacity to hold higher frequencies like love, abundance, joy, and peace, first off, it's by practicing those states over and over, but also it is by doing the shadow work, releasing the lower vibrational energies here. Here's a map of consciousness. If you look at your vibration, where you're existing, I'm going to utilize this rubber band as an example. So say your kind of base point of vibration is in maybe some of the lower vibrational energies, and you raise your vibration. What you're doing is you're stretching up like this, right? You're raising your vibration through certain practices you're doing. Maybe you're doing yoga, you're doing your visualization, you're going out and being in nature, you're doing something to raise it up. But you notice the tension, you have to pull it and you have to put some effort and energy into it, right? So the tension is going to then eventually you can sustain it for a certain period of time, but then you're gonna be pulled back down. There's gonna be this coming down experience. So we can keep doing this, right? We can keep exerting the energy, doing the practices to raise our vibration, and we will get up there, we'll have this experience. But why not do this? Why not raise the base point, right? So say you begin to raise this base of your vibration. So then to be in these levels isn't taking as much work. You can stay in it longer because it's not as difficult to hold yourself there. And the way that we raise this base point is by actually the letting go of the lower vibrational energies that are existing down here. Because of course, if there's a lot of this lower vibrational stuff going on within yourself, it's hard, like it's harder to stay up here. You're gonna keep doing this and keep coming back down. So how do we, it's a blend of being intentional with practicing things to raise your vibration into alignment with what you say that you desire. More so than that, it's a letting go process. It's a letting go of these things that are keeping your base point more down here. So the more we let go of fear, the more we let go of bitterness, resentment, judgment of others, the more we forgive, the more that we practice feeling love for others and for ourselves, the more this base point raises. And the more you're going to see it's easier. Your body, your system is able to sustain these higher levels of vibration for longer periods of time. You're upgrading your vehicle, so to speak. Again, multiple ways to do this: letting go, also taking care of your body, and meditation. All these things are helping you to release this lower stuff. So I hope this analogy works. It's a journey that we're all on. And it's not something that happens overnight, but it's something that we can work towards. And it does get easier the more that we do that inner work and let things go. The quality you perceive the goal will give you is what must be developed to manifest the goal. I'm giving you the roadmap. If you grasp this, you can dissect yourself. You can be like, okay, if I'm wanting this, that means I'm lacking it. That means I need to work on that now within myself. And it's really going to come down to a few things like self-love and acceptance. Mostly self-love and acceptance is really like loving the aspects of yourself, loving the different things about you, understanding your abundance, understanding your freedom, understanding your perfect health, and understanding that state of peace. It's all there within you right now. Like, we just got to uncover it, release the things that are not that, release the things that are not you. Let's dive a little bit more into raising your vibration. So first, identify the vibration of your goal by asking how you'll feel having it and the needs it will fulfill. So that's number one. Number two, make a list of all the activities that help you experience the desired feeling. Then make the decision to do them more often. This is, again, coming from that angle of like forcing the vibration up a bit more and practicing those higher vibrational states. That's the one angle, right, that we do in order to raise our vibration. This is a really great thing to do, is just make a list. What are things that I know that make me feel really, really good? Getting out in nature, playing music, dancing, creating something, could be reading, like whatever it is. It doesn't have to be profound. It can be as simple as, having a cup of coffee. Get to know what those things are and implement them more in your life. Choose these things more and more. Why are you choosing all these things that you don't like, that make you feel lousy? Why are you choosing to be around people that make you feel lousy? Does that make sense? I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't think it makes sense. Maybe if you have an argument for why that's a good way to do it, please do let me know. But I think it would make more sense to do the things that feel good and that bring you joy. Because like I said, the greatest gift you can give the world is being happy. That's the biggest impact that you can have. I'm going to dive into this one a bit. So continue to work to look at the world with love. So this is, again, another self-assessment here that we can do. The way that you perceive anything shows you how much you have raised your vibration. I'll say that again. The way you perceive anything, your perception of a thing, person, experience, shows you how much you have raised your vibration. The more lovingly you see everything, the more you have raised your vibration. The more separate and fearful you see things, the less you have raised your vibration. This could be like an aha moment for some people, being like, oh, like, okay, like I understand my vibration is lower because I look out at the world and I see it's terrible and I don't like it. And I'm angry at people. I'm angry at the politicians. And you might, I know in this state, you can think like you're completely right in your perception, but there's many other perceptions available to you that are correct as well, that would be a more enjoyable experience for you. So if you're not observing something with love, you're not observing truly. When you look at someone or something with full acceptance and love, then this allows you to see their true divine essence. Despite what they are doing and however unconscious they might be, we can look at them with love. Think about a person right now that bothers you, irritates you, that maybe even you hate, somewhere in that spectrum. And you look at them and you feel those emotions. Maybe they hurt you. Maybe you feel they're oppressing you in some way. Maybe you think they're who knows what, but you have some sort of, it's not a good feeling towards them. If you can take a moment and you can just Accept them, that's who they are. That's the level that they're operating from. That's the level of consciousness that they are at. And you just accept it and you let go of the negative feeling towards them. From that neutral position, you can then choose to, one, feel love for that individual, and also, two, somewhere in them, there's something good that you can put your attention on. Somewhere in an experience that you've perceived as negative, there's something good to put your attention on and see with love. Think about looking at it through God's eyes. God is in everything, and it's all expanding in these meticulous and profound and incredible ways. And it's love is in all of it. And to help you with this, if you're like, this thing is bad, it is a bad thing, here's a perspective for you. If we cannot know light without darkness, the duality is there in order to experience the thing. If we don't have the one side, we can't have the other side. So even in a situation where a person is doing something that seems so bad, we can appreciate that polarity because it must all be there in order for all of this to exist. And then you can begin to see it on the bigger perspective is like the push and pull of polarity is vibration, and that's how everything expands in this universe and how creation happens. What are we left to do but then to love and appreciate all that is? Because without it, nothing would be. As you look at yourself, how loving are you? That's a telltale sign of, how much you've raised your level of consciousness and your vibration. And you can practice this more and more. Sometimes I find it the most challenging to feel love when I the other day I pulled out in front of someone in traffic. It was my fault. And they got very angry at me. And there was one woman driving and she was yelling at me. And then her son, he was this long beard, was in the passenger side, and he was just standing there. He's just glaring at me, and they just sat there and just glared at me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And then what else do you want me to do except apologize? And they were just sitting there. People were honking behind them because they weren't moving. And in a sense, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I'm going to tell you because I think in vulnerability, we come closer together. As they started to drive away, I gave them the finger because that part of me came out. I was just like, what you like, they were shaming me. They were like being aggressive towards me. I made a mistake. And what did that show me about myself? When I think I make a mistake, I shame myself and I'm hard on myself. And it's again, that shadow of like, there's hate towards that. So I saw in myself, I'm like, wow, like I still am not bringing love and acceptance to the areas that I think I'm making a mistake. And I have shame there. And so it was an opportunity to bring away, but right, that shadow self reared its ugly head and out came that reaction. Yeah, I'm still working on myself a lot, but now we have, that is a difficult time for me. That experience is hard for me to show love, but then I do my best to keep practicing, growing my ability to stay in there for longer periods of time, bringing love to the shadow in order to make it easier for me to raise my vibration. So this is what we can do. Number 4, use the power of perspective to continually signal to the universe what you want. Extract the benefit from whatever manifests of what you are experiencing. So as we're doing this process of raising our vibration, what we're doing is we're continually having opportunities in every situation and every experience to choose how we respond, how we react. There's a lot of things, experiences that are happening that not necessarily in our control. What we can control is how we respond to it, what perception we take of the situation. So do that to the best of your ability, extract the benefit from whatever manifest, even if it's not what you would prefer. If it's not the experience you would prefer to be having, there's something good that you can put your attention on in that situation, which is again going to affect your vibration, the raising of it. If you assume something is wrong because something isn't going the way that you think it should, then you'll only experience the negative side of that thing. Your attention to the negative tells the universe, I want more of this. So whether your attention is negative or positive, it doesn't matter. It's attention and it's a thumbs up, give me more of this. That's huge. Then we want to be like, okay, like I want to give my attention to the things that I want more of. So in this situation, what is the little part of it that I want more of? What can I learn from the situation? What's the part I want more of? And then I'm going to give my attention to that. If you understand that this is happening for a reason, so the situation that again might not have been the way you think things should be going or what you think that you want, if you understand that everything is happening for your highest good, everything is happening for your highest good. If you actually believe that and you know that that's true, then look for what you can extract from this that helps you. You don't have to fixate on like, oh, this is so terrible. This didn't happen the way I wanted. I'm so upset. things don't go my way, poor me, then you just perpetuate more of that. But if you're like, it is what it is, this is the situation, it's happening for my highest good, even though I might not understand it right now. And here's some things that are good about what's happening here, or like that I can extract from this. Now you move forward. Now you choose like that next level. This is the process of raising. And this is why we let go of triggers. So it's more possible for us not to just explode in the moment and become more of a conscious chooser of the vibration that we are in. Act on your passion. Bashar has a formula. So he's a channel that I listen to. And this is his formula, and you can Google it and you can get more details on it. But this is what he says. He says, act on your passion to the best of your ability, taking it as far as you can until you can take it no further in that way or direction. And you do this with absolutely zero insistence and assumptions on what that outcome has to look like. And you remain in a positive state no matter what happens, so that you can extract the benefit from whatever happens. Then you're in flow and you'll experience what can feel like effortless manifestation. Simply acting on your passion, thinking about that thing that you really want to do, you can't help but your vibration go up. Like you can't help but all of this stuff to fall into place. And whenever you're lost and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know, just ask yourself this question: what would I love in this moment? What would I love? So simple. And we don't trust it, right? We think, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. That's not going to make me rich tomorrow. Mom's not going to like that. That's not what society says is the right way to do things. Forget all that stuff. Really, really trust that guidance of your passion. So much of this stuff will just be taken care of on its own by simply doing that. Trust it. Just trust your guidance. And then continue to let go of lower vibrational energy. Continue as it comes up. You can do this as a practice where you're intentionally being like, okay, I want to face this thing from my past today. I want to do this work. I'm going to go on a silent retreat and I'm going to work through some of these things. But ultimately, the best time to be working through this stuff is in the moment when you get triggered, by having the awareness of the process that's going on. And then you'll be able to release it as you go. That work will be there continually forever until we reach fourth density, I think. Third density is the density of suffering. As you face each of these things, you just I've given you a bunch of different practices and things that you can utilize in module 1 in order to work through the shadow, to work through the triggers, and you just keep doing it. You be faithful to that, and you're going to see that vibration will just continue to rise. This is a really wonderful quote. It's from Creating Money. Here's the book. It is by Sanaya Roman and Dwayne Packer. This quote states that as you express the higher qualities you think, more money will give you. Radiating those qualities outward with your words, actions, and being, you will become magnetic to money and objects that are physical expressions of your new feeling of consciousness. Developing any higher quality, be it love, inner peace, well-being, happiness, courage, personal power, or self-respect, will change your vibration and make you magnetic to whatever matches your new vibration. So I hope it's clear that wherever you're doing the work in your life, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in finance, whether it's in your physical well-being, your mental well-being, wherever, it doesn't matter. As you do the work in any area, it's going to impact every area of your life. Money isn't the only way to experience abundance. You can experience abundance in relationship, in love, in health. You're not this categorized person that has these separate parts of you. It's all connected. That can be a tool as well, that if you have a lot of resistance in one area of your life, say relationships, and there's a lot of pain and difficulty there, that you can work in another area where you can raise your vibration, and then you'll see naturally that things will grow in the relationship area, as an example. So you will become magnetic not only to more money, but to all the forms that will help you express your new level of growth. You will draw to you the things you know you want, as well as having things come to you before you are aware that you need them. You will attract things that are better than what you ask for, and everything around you will fit who you are. I just think that's so beautiful. And we attract who we are. This is a journey of remembering who you are and letting go of the things which are not you. And as you do that, and as you journey on that process, all the things will naturally come. The money and the cars and the homes and the relationships and all that kind of stuff, they're just symbols. They're not the end goal. They will show up. You don't have to worry about that. But it comes from who you are being. So think in terms of love, think in terms of peace and joy, health, abundance, freedom, and knowing that truth. And when you perceive that you are not those things, you're going to feel sad. You're going to feel hurt. You're going to feel abandoned. You're going to feel scared. You're going to feel these kinds of emotions. We don't suppress those emotions. We look at them and be like, I must have an incorrect perception of myself. I'm believing that I'm limited right now, so I feel sad. Is it true that I'm limited? No. I'm just thinking I am, so I feel sad. So now I understand I have an incorrect perception of myself, and I can adjust that perception to knowing I am abundant. And there, now you feel great. This is why when we get in a romantic relationship at first, it feels amazing because you are perceiving yourself as loved. So you feel really great. The pitfall of that is that you're depending on the other person to make you feel that way. So when they stopped, the honeymoon phase is over, then you go back to feeling lack of love. This is the unfolding of discovering your true self and following the guidance that you're receiving to know yourself even better.
I hope you really enjoyed that video and were able to take away some nuggets that are helping you on your journey. I am deeply committed to my mission to raise the vibration of the world one person at a time. Of course, that starts with me and my own journey and then extends through the teaching and energy and healing work that I do on a day-to-day basis. I see really two angles to come at this journey of evolution for us to raise our vibration so that we can experience abundance and freedom and joy, those loving relationships, those healthy bodies, all those things that you're searching for. It actually is a journey that happens from within. And on the one angle, we come at this from understanding, gaining wisdom, beginning to discover ourselves and who we really are. How does the cosmos work? What is the soul's journey? This is why I teach on YouTube and give videos on my social media in order to gain understanding and wisdom and awareness so that we can logically move ourselves forward. The other angle to come at this is through inner work, through healing, through what has been coined as shadow work. This is why I do energy work and I use things like the emotions code, like bioresonance, do subconscious reprogramming, brain entrainment, all these beautiful and wonderful things in order to do work inwardly to shift our vibration. When I say shift our vibration, you naturally at spirit soul level vibrate at a very high level with perfect abundance and freedom and joy and all those things. But what happens though through life experiences, we tend to hold on to things like limiting beliefs, traumas, fears, doubts, anxiety, stress, all this kind of stuff that's not you. So our journey of raising our vibration is actually a journey of letting go of that which is not us. And so that is the other angle that I utilize in order to help people raise their vibration into these places that feel really, really good. What happens over YouTube though, or over these videos, is that there can be a disconnect. You can't necessarily talk to me or ask your questions. And so you sometimes feel like you're alone. So I'm really excited to announce that I have a membership where we can meet once a week and you're able to ask me questions as well as work with other people that are like-minded and on this journey together of raising our vibration, of manifesting lives that are beautiful and wonderful, that we're so happy and excited to be alive, living our passions and doing the things that bring us a lot of joy. On those calls, I will actually work with you individually as well. For people who are wanting help, I can release negative trapped emotions right there in person. For those who would like that done, I can use my bioresonance technology in order to read your frequency right then and there and actually send you frequency that will help bring more balance for you as well. And you can also, again, ask your questions. And I share even more tips and tricks than I have available currently on YouTube on how to heal the shadow on the day-to-day when you're on your own and I'm not there with you. What are these things and practices that you can do that ultimately raise your vibration? As we shift and release that which is not us, all the money and the relationships and the love and the health, it just is a byproduct of that. It's a symbol of the shift that's happening within yourself. So if this membership is something that sounds exciting to you, you want to connect with other like-minded people, you want to connect with me and grow in community together, there is a link in the description where you're able to get more information on that and sign up. And I would love to see you there.